Okay, so we're here at the QT, getting ready to start the DOD delete experiment. We're going to top the tank off and get a baseline of what kind of gas mileage this vehicle gets with everything enabled. The active fuel management will be enabled, and we're going to get an idea of what we got. I'm going to go ahead and reset trip A, and we're going to use that as the exact mileage. And what I'm going to do, I'm here to QT. Oh, and while I'm on it, one thing that you guys might want to do is see where it says top tier fuel. Any kind of direct injected engine, if your vehicle has a direct injected engine, which this does, this is a 2016 GMC Sierra, you might want to only put top tier fuel in it. It actually has additives that help keep the injectors and the fuel system clean. Okay, so it just kicked off. I'm going to hit it one more time just to make sure that it is all the way full. So we have a complete full tank right now. Okay, ended up taking 9 gallons. We got it set to trip A is 0. The TPMS light, just ignore that. I got one TPMS sensor that left front is weak. And I'm going to go ahead and, now this only lets you reset, so we're on the last 25 miles. It only lets you set the best score. I wish it let you set the average score too. And what we're going to do is I'm going to drive to work. This is going to be an exact same route every day. Right now we've got everything enabled. You can see where it says V4. We just went into V4 mode, and we're getting out here on the highway. We're going to go up here, and this is going to be all highway driving for the most part. Very little, I mean literally maybe 2 miles worth of driving in the city. So right here I'm getting on the turnpike, and what we're going to do is I'm going to get going down the road at about 65 miles an hour. I'm going to set the cruise control, and I'm going to try to keep it set the entire way to work until I have to get off the highway. And then we're going to pull into another QT. We're going to fill the tank up, and we're going to see exactly how many miles we went and what kind of gas mileage we got. Now I usually can get about 23 according to the fuel economy gauge right here on the truck. So I'm going to be interested to see how close that is to real world. Right now we got a complete full tank, and we got about my work is about, I think, about 26 or 27 miles. So we'll see how close we are to that. And we'll see how close the mileage gauge is here to the actual. We'll do the math. We're going to do the math the old-fashioned way, because I don't know if it will change since there's already a 16.8 average. Since we're starting off with that, I don't know if we started off with, say, a 23 mile per gallon average, would it change? Would it affect it any? I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna try to set the cruise control at 65. We're doing a little over, it looks like. Hold on just a second. Okay, 65. And we're off. So I'm going to go ahead and I don't know what else I need to say right now. If anything changes, I'll let you know. We got our... Oh, it said... Oh, whoops. Okay. I screwed up. Okay, there. I thought I was on the other button. I was wanting to scroll through. So there's our trip. And you just saw it go into V4 mode. So you know that that is active at the moment. And, you know, just my 2 cents on the AFM. I'm going to tell you why I want to delete the AFM. The reason I'm going to delete it, and I kind of want to get a baseline of what kind of gas mileage I'm going to lose, is I actually like the AFM. I like the fact that it goes into V4 mode. I personally don't feel it when it goes in. I've seen other people say that they can feel it go into V4 mode. I have tried and tried and tried. I can't feel it when it goes into V4, can't feel it when it goes into V8. It is so fluid. I don't feel nothing. So I don't have a problem with it. The problem I have, well, I do have a problem with it. And the problem I have is a pretty major one if you are like me and you keep a vehicle for a long time. And I like this truck. I plan on keeping it for a long time as long as it proves to be a reliable, good truck. And the problem that I have with it is you can read about people where their lifters ended up getting jammed or stuck, so that cylinder's dead. Even whenever it goes back into V8 mode, it's still a dead cylinder. There's a pin, I believe the way the AFM works, and I don't know if GM has changed this in the different generations of the 5.3s with the AFM, but there's a pin that'll shuttle back and forth depending on the oil solenoid, oil pressure. There's a solenoid that'll open and close, and it'll shuttle back and forth. So we're on the highway. By the way, we're on the highway. We're on I-30 heading toward Dallas. And there's a pin that shuttles back and forth that shuts that lifter on and off, basically. It'll make the lifter in-op. Well, over time, that pin gets worn. The little, I think the hole that the pin rides in starts getting wear on it, and that pin will jam and get stuck. Well, I wouldn't have that big of a problem with it if you could get to that lifter simply by removing the intake. That's a pretty simple job. I wouldn't have a problem if the lifter went bad, pull the intake off, put another lifter in, and press on. But it's not that easy. On these engines, you have to literally pull the head off. And I don't want to have to go through that trouble over a lifter. So to me, as long as it's not going to affect the gas mileage all that much, I would rather just delete it and know that that lifter is never going to get that wear because it's always in V8 mode. And that lifter, you know, that shuttle, that pin will never shuttle back and forth. Therefore, that lifter at least it's not going to fail for that reason. And lifters are generally pretty reliable, except for the AFM lifters that do tend to have that problem. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shut the phone off. Just kind of wanted to give you my 2 cents on why I want to delete the AFM. And like I say, as long as I'm only going to lose 1 mile per gallon, like I've kind of read, you know, a lot of people, they do what I call guesstimates of what kind of gas mileage they either, most people say they lost about 1 mile per gallon, but I've read people say they've actually gained miles, and I find that hard to believe. Because if you actually watch the V4 mode, when it goes into V4 mode, whenever you're back on the other screen where it shows the actual mileage that you're getting, the live miles, you can see it'll go into like the third. If you're on level ground and it goes into V4 mode, it'll jump into the 30s, 34 miles per gallon, 36, and that is going into the averaging of what kind of gas mileage you're going to get. So I have a hard time believing that anybody gets better gas mileage when they delete the AFM. But, you know, who am I? You know, I don't drive their trucks. I don't drive them the way they drive them. So this is going to be strictly an experiment, pretty much all highway miles, to see in reality what deleting the AFM, how it affects the gas mileage. And then we're also going to do an experiment whenever I do the tune. I'm just going to do the 87 octane tune and see if it actually does anything to the gas mileage. But this is going to be one specifically for the AFM. So I'm going to go ahead and shut off now, so the video is just not so long. I'll turn you back on whenever I get ready to pull off of the highway. I'm going to another QT up there by my work, and we're going to top the tank off. We're going to see how many gallons that it took. We'll see how many miles I put on the vehicle, and then whenever I get home today, I'll go ahead and delete the AFM, and then tomorrow morning make this same exact drive from QT to QT. Should be the same exact miles, you know, obviously, and everything, and we'll see at the same speed, and we'll see if the gas mileage suffers any. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. So right now it looks like we're getting real close to 23 miles per gallon. A little over now. So we'll see how good we can get. Talk to you later. Hey, and real quick, I just wanted to say that the air conditioning is off. It's nice cool. It's 71 degrees. So hopefully tomorrow morning, and I suspect it's going to be nice and cool. Hopefully the temperature will be roughly the same, so that won't be a factor in it, and I'll be able to run the AC off the entire time. So right now we're sitting at about 23.6 miles per gallon. Just hit 23.7. So far so good. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, so we're coming up on the street where I've got to get off, and we went 24.6 miles so far. We're sitting at about 24.4. The best that it showed was a little over 25 there for a minute. So all in all, not too bad. I'm going to come back whenever we get to QT and I start pumping the gas in it. Okay, so here we are at QT, getting our gas. 20 cents higher here. But I'm curious to see if we can put about 25 miles on it. Wow. Not even a gallon. Let me take a picture. Okay, according to this, we got 24.7 miles per gallon. But you saw how many gallons that we went 25.5 miles exactly. I got the calculator here. So 25.5 divided by 0.909. According to that, we got 28 miles per gallon. Wow. Okay. So I don't know. I pumped the gas handle a couple different times to make sure that I got as much in as I could. So I guess tomorrow we'll do the same thing and we'll see how it compares. I'm out. Okay, so we're here at the gas station. I'm gonna get us some gas. I'm gonna top it off, and see what we get. So we'll let her go. Let's see, we're gonna, oh, the TPMS light, don't worry about that. That's, I've got a weak TPMS sensor. So I've got to replace that. Let's go over here to, trip, nope, where was it? Trip A. I'm gonna reset that to 0. Just for fun, we're going to reset the best score. Pump it one more time. .4 gallons. We could actually do the math. I put 71 miles. Of course, that's city and highway. So. Okay, so we're jumping out here on the road. I've got my trip. In fact, let's get back to what I have it set on yesterday. Yeah, right there. That also gives us our fuel mileage. And the reason we're doing this again is so yesterday it showed when I did the math that I got 28 miles to the gallon, and I'm finding that hard to believe. The computer here was showing I think it was 24.6 or 24.8 or something. So we're going to go ahead and do this test again and see if we get different results. So I'm getting ready to get back on the highway. I'm going to set the cruise control to 65 miles an hour. And yesterday I was able to literally keep it on 65 all the way until I was getting ready to get off the highway, which is there's another QT. We'll go ahead and top the tank off again. We'll see how many miles we put on it. And then I'll delete the AFM, and we're going to repeat it, and we'll see how that goes. So we're going to get up here on the highway real quick. I'll get the cruise control set to 65. And then I'll go ahead and shut the phone down and bring you back whenever we're getting ready to get off the highway. Okay, so there's 65. And I'm just going to go ahead and cruise on to work. It's about 20, I forget exactly what it was yesterday, about 25 miles. And I'll bring you back whenever we pump gas back in the truck. We'll do the math to see what kind of gas mileage we got. So we'll see you then. And I just wanted to show you guys that it is going into V4 mode. As you can see right there, we're coming up on 18.3 miles per gallon. So whenever we delete that, it's not going to ever go into that. So just wanted to show you guys that so you'd know for sure that the AFM is activated right now. Okay, we're getting ready to get off the highway, pull into the QT. Today, we're only showing about 22.1, 22.2. Yesterday, I thought it was right around 25, 24.7 or something like that. So I'll be curious to, once we pump the gas in, we'll take a look and see how many gallons we put in it. And looks like we're right at 25 point, probably going to be about 25.4 miles. So yeah, we'll see what we got. Okay, so here we are. Yesterday it only took about 0.9 gallons. So we'll see. Okay, so that's as much as I can pump in it. All the way to the top. Let's do the math. 0.928. We went 25.5. So 25.5 divided by 0.928. Pretty damn close to yesterday, 27.4. So I'm going to go ahead and call it about 27 miles to the gallon. Now, see, and that's what I don't like about this particular fuel mileage deal, because if you go over here to right here, you can't erase the average. So if I did a bunch of city driving and the average dropped to, I don't know, we'll say 15 miles per gallon, how does that average in to the next 25 miles? I don't know if that makes sense or not. The only thing you can reset is your best score. Well, I want to be able to read the other cars I've got. Whenever you do a reset, it resets it all back to 0, and it starts, from its baseline and gives you an actual average mile per gallon that you're getting right then and right there. So I don't really like the way. I love this truck and love everything about it and the technology and the way they've got it set up. But I don't like that. But we did the math yesterday. We come out with 28 miles per gallon that I got on this same exact drive. Today, we got 27, whatever it was, 27, basically 27.5. That's 27.47. So if you round that up to 0.5, that's 27.5. Yesterday was 28. We'll go ahead and call it 27.5, and then whenever I get home today, I will delete the AFM, and then we're going to repeat this tomorrow, and we'll see what we get. And just for reference, the AC was off. Where are we at? And the temperature's 66 degrees today. Yesterday, I think it was 71. So I don't know how much that would affect it. Tire pressures are actually a little bit lower today because it is cooler. Yeah, they're back up now. They were down as low as whatever they were, 36 or whatever. You can see that left front TPMS sensor seems to be working right now. And that's the problem I've got with it. It's intermittent. It's just weak. When I hook my scanner to it, it actually shows that it's only putting out about, even though they're all four brand new, got less than 1,000 miles on them, it shows it about, I think, 60% signal versus the others. It's like in the 90s. So it's just intermittent. Just kind of, I guess it was weak from the factory. Probably made in China. Anyway, that's all I've got today. So, actually, it'll probably be next Sunday. This is Sunday. I can only really do this on Saturdays and Sundays because of the traffic. I want to be able to set the cruise control to 65 and not have to disengage it for any reason. I want to keep it engaged all the way here. And I was able to do that yesterday, and I was able to do that this morning. During the week, that's impossible to do. There's just too much traffic. So it'll be next Saturday that I'll have to, I'll delete the AFM when I get home today, but it'll be next Saturday before I'm able to do this next experiment, if you will. Anyway, we'll see you then. All right, so I'm back home. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to program the AFM out of it. And then next Saturday, I'll fill it up. Same routine, fill it up there at the QT, get back on the highway, 65 miles an hour all the way to work. And we'll get off the highway, pull into the QT there by my work, and we will see what kind of mileage we get with the AFM deleted. And then the next test is going to be going to the 87 octane, whichever. I'm going to have to look and see what 87 octane tune they got. I don't know if they have like an 87 performance, an 87 gas mileage, or what. We'll have to look. As soon as this is finished, we'll go and see what they've got. So if you don't know, that what this is going to do is prevent the truck from going into V4 mode. It will only be a V8. It will never go into the 4-cylinder mode. So I am very curious to see what kind of gas mileage difference this is going to make. Just by eyeballing it, when it goes into V4 mode, I mean, I instantly see the average mile per gallon over on the left. I see it going up quite a bit. I'm surprised it's happened to install transmission. The AFM I don't think has anything to do with the transmission, but maybe it does. Or maybe it's happened to, because I have tweaked the transmission shift points. Maybe it's got to install that anytime you do any kind of a change at all. And I don't know if I mentioned it. This is the Diablo Sport Predator 2. Doesn't really say anything on the back. Forget the actual part number. 7202, I think. No, wait a minute. You gotta turn it off, hit the button, and then turn it, I think it says turn it back on. I know this video is probably going to be a little longer than what you're wanting, but trying to be thorough, trying to make sure that you guys know that however this turns out, I'm not trying to pull any strings to make you believe one way or the other. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start it up just to make sure that everything looks okay. And it does. Okay, let's see what options we got as far as the tune. Okay, yeah, it's got 87 economy and 87 performance. And then it's got Diablo Toe and Diablo Tune. So what I'll probably do, since I'm more interested in fuel economy at this particular time, once we figure out how the AFM has affected it, I'll do the 87 economy. As long as I can't tell a difference in power, as long as it's not a huge reduction in horsepower and torque, and if it does end up getting me better gas mileage, I'm going to leave it on 87 economy. Because like I said, I drive this truck back and forth to work. That's 99% of its job is getting me back and forth to work. I don't need a bunch of horsepower. I don't need as much horsepower as it can make just for getting back and forth to work. I want to be able to get back and forth to work as cheap as I possibly can. That way I've got more money to spend on other stuff. But what I might do, just out of curiosity, is go to 87 performance. And I doubt I'll be able to actually feel any different, any more, performance. But we'll see how that affects the gas mileage also. If the gas mileage isn't really affected by doing the 87 performance tune, then I'll just do the 87 performance tune and leave it on that. But anyway, we'll see. So next Saturday is going to be the next time that I turn the camera on, and we're going to see what kind of gas mileage we get with the AFM off. Okay, we're back here at QT. This is going to be the first drive to work with the AFM deleted or deactivated. So we're going to top it off. We're going to reset the trip odometer. And we're going to see how it goes.
Ozzy just wrote.
Okay, we're going to bring her up to 65. Set the cruise. We're at about 73 degrees this morning. AC is off. And away we go. Hopefully we can just keep a nice 65 mile an hour cruise all the way to work. Well, actually all the way to the QT, right off the highway, right by my work. And we'll see what kind of mileage we get with the DOD disabled. So I'll come back whenever I'm getting ready to get off the highway. Okay, we're about halfway there. We've been about a little over 12 miles, and we're running about 19.5 miles per gallon. Of course, my TPMS light had to come on, but just to show you, it's just that left front tire again, doing its thing. So, here in about another 15 minutes or so, we'll be there, and we'll see how many gallons of gas this is going to take. Or, I mean, it's going to take roughly about a gallon, a little less, a little more. We'll see. The first two drives with the AFM on took about 0.9 gallons in some change. Literally 28 miles to gallon the first day. Second day was 27.5. I was very shocked at that high fuel mileage. I wasn't expecting that. So I'm curious to see what, and on the computer here, it was showing, I think, around 24 or 25. I can't remember. So it was, you know, it was 3 miles per gallon higher in reality. So we'll see what this is going to be. So we just hit 20 miles per gallon. So we're doing pretty good. Okay, we're getting off the highway, pulling into the QT. The computer's showing about 22.1 miles per gallon. So we'll see how much we end up pumping into it. Okay, one more. Yeah. Okay, so this is what we got. We went 25.5 miles divided by 1.068. Yeah, 1.068 gallons is what we pumped into it. 23.8. So just under 24. Pretty close. I mean, that's showing 22.1. So I mean, that's pretty close. 20. We're going to round that to 24. You know, that's about 3 miles per gallon less than with the DOD activated. We'll do this one more time. We did it twice with the AFM or DOD, depending on what you want to call it, activated. We got 27.5 and 28. So we'll do this one more time just to see what we get. And then we'll call this little experiment finished. Until next time. Okay, we're back here at the QT. Getting ready to top the tank off. This will be our fourth drive. And then we're gonna, this will be our fourth and last drive to see what kind of mileage we're gonna get with the AFM deleted or disabled. One more pump. Get in the truck, reset everything. Okay. Turn the radio off. Okay, so the trip odometer, trip A, we're going to go ahead and reset that. And we'll go ahead and reset this. And we'll go back to trip A. It is about 59 degrees. AC is off. So I'm going to go ahead and get on the highway. And once I get out there on the turnpike to head to work, I'll come back. We'll see how everything's going, and then I'll shut the phone off. And you'll see me next time pulling into the QT at over by my work, and we'll do the mileage and see what we get. Now on trip 3, so the first 2 trips was with the AFM enabled. The second 2 trips, this will be trip 4, the last one of this video. It's with the AFM disabled, and seeing what the mileage difference is. The first 2 trips with it enabled, we had about 28 miles to the gallon on the highway and about 27.50 respectively of the first 2 trips. The third trip, I think we got right around 25 with the AFM disabled. So this will be trip 4. We're going to see what we get. I'm suspecting right around 25, since the third one, that's what we got. But we'll see. Alright guys, we're actually getting on the highway right now. Just pulled out of QT. I'm going to set the cruise to 65. And we're just going to let her go. Hopefully I can stay engaged. The first 3 trips I was able to stay engaged all the way to work. So hopefully this trip I'll be able to stay engaged. I do these on Saturday and Sunday because there's no traffic. Going to where I say no traffic, there's very, very little traffic. Monday through Friday, it's too busy. I'd be on and off the brake too many times. So this is basically highway miles, going about 25 miles from my house to work on Saturday and Sunday. So, you know, this is the mileage that we're looking at is going to be all highway miles. How it would affect, you know, stop and go city driving, obviously you're going to get a lot less miles per gallon, and the AFM may be more beneficial in that case or less. I know when you're on and off the gas, the AFM doesn't stay engaged, you know, it doesn't go into V4 mode whenever you're on and off the gas a lot. So you know, whenever you're on the highway, you're in V4 mode a lot more. You know, if you have the AFM enabled anyway. But anyway, yeah, we're off. We're gonna see how we are here, and I'm gonna go ahead and shut the phone off, and next time I turn it on, we'll be pulling into the QT over by my work to see how many gallons of gas it's going to take. Okay, I just got off the highway, showing about 25.3 miles, which that should be pretty much the same. About 22.4 miles per gallon on the computer. So we'll see how many gallons it ends up actually taking. Then we'll do some math and get the actual mile per gallon. So I'm pulling into the QT right now. Let me find me a spot, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, here we are. Been taking right around a gallon. One pump. So it shuts off. So a little less than a gallon. So we did a little better this time than we did last time. Okay. So let's do some math. Turn the key on. Get to the calculator here. So, what was it? 0.997. So 25.5 divided by 0.997. 25.5. So with the AFM deleted, I'm getting about 25 to 25 and a half miles per gallon. With the AFM, I got 28 and 27. I think 27 and a half. So 2 to 3 miles, you lose 2 to 3 miles per gallon. It looks like with the AFM disabled. You know, so I guess it depends on the person. I'm probably going to leave it like this. I'm fine with 25 miles per gallon on the highway with the AFM deleted. So there we have it. 2 to 3 less with the AFM disabled. Again, this is a 2016 GMC Sierra with the 5.3 L83 engine. 8-speed transmission. Got the 8L90 transmission. So all 4 tests was done with the AC turned off, cruise control set, 65 miles per hour, and we went about 25 and a half miles from one QT to another, all on the highway at 65 miles an hour. So I guess that's it. You guys take care. All right, guys, I just pulled into my work. I'm here in the parking lot, and I just wanted to kind of touch on a couple things. You know, one of the reasons I did this, because I'd read in forums, some people, of course, to me, the main reason I did this is because these lifters have been known in the past to fail, and you have to literally pull the head to replace the lifters. I would not worry about this if all you had to do is pull the intake like you did on the old school V8s and get to the lifters so you could replace the lifters. And I'm perfectly capable of pulling a head myself also, but it's a lot more work, and I don't want to be under the hood pulling the top half of the engine apart to replace lifters because one of them jammed in the deactivated position. If I understand it right, there's a pin that shuttles back and forth with oil pressure to disable that lifter. And over time, that pin wears. And then eventually that lifter can collapse in that position. And you don't have a lifter doing its job. And you have to pull the head. Obviously you have a miss because that cylinder is not able to function. And you have to pull the head to replace the lifters. I don't want to have to do that. So depending on how less fuel mileage I'm going to get by keeping the AFM disabled, I'm willing to do away with the AFM. For me, I cannot feel the AFM whenever it goes into V4 mode versus V8. I've read that also, that a lot of people complain about that. They say that they can feel it, and they say they don't like it. I don't feel that at all. Whenever it goes from V4 to V8, it's so fluid and smooth, I don't feel anything. So that was never an issue for me. I personally would, if these trucks did not have a history of the lifters failing, I would leave it enabled. I personally like it. And look, this is the fact of it. If you're in V4 mode, and if you need to pass someone, as soon as you start giving it gas, it goes into V8 mode. It's not like there's any kind of a real hesitation there. If there is, it's just the downshift, the transmission getting ready to shift, to the next gear or two, so that you can pass. That was never an issue for me. As soon as I give it any gas at all, it's in V8 mode, and it's coming to life, and I'm able to pass, I'm able to speed up, whatever I need to do. So I don't understand these people that say that, whenever they're in V8 or V4 mode, it was all this big of an issue. I think most of that is in their head. Now obviously I'm not in their truck, so maybe some trucks are different than others. Maybe the 6-speed transmission operates differently than the 8-speed. I don't know. All I know is the V4 was never an issue for me. The only reason I'm disabling it is to prevent myself from having to pull ahead one of these days. I've got 82,000 miles on this truck now, and I just don't want to have to pull ahead to replace lifters if I don't have to. So for me, disabling it is what I'm going with. Now, another option you have is, let's say you're going on a long trip and you want to get the best gas mileage you can. Then at that point, you can re-enable it, take your trip, and then whenever you get back home and you're just going to drive it back and forth to work or around town, then you can go ahead and disable it at that point. That way you're at least not wearing down the lifters hardly at all at that point. But that's just what I wanted to touch on. Everybody's got their own reasons for doing it. That's mine. And that's what I'm going to go with. Anyway, you guys take care.